Hello and welcome to the Kinda Queer podcast, hosted by a couple of kinda queer folks. My name is Ryan, and I am a cis pansexual man.
Hi, my name is Tim. I'm 17 years old. I'm back, yay. And my pronouns are he, him, and I am also gay.
Fantastic. Yes, if you haven't seen Tim's episode before, if you haven't listened to it, what are you doing with your life? Go do that. We talked about many, many great things, such as Just Dance and Big Time Rush. So
Yes.
those are some of the key things to take out of it. But today, what we are doing is we are talking about queer media and LGBTQ plus representation in media, so like TV, film, basically anything. And I guess with that being said, Tim, how do you feel about the current queer representation in media? Do you think that there's enough? Do you think that it's good? Or do you think it needs to be tweaked? What do you think about it?
Well, I remember I kind of touched on this last time. I was kind of, I was going off on some tangent about something that nobody cared about, and I was like, gay representation is like really bad right now. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, compared to what it was like when I was younger, and that's not any huge feat or anything. I'm only 17. Younger for me was like 5 years ago, but it's better. Like
Yeah.
I know before we started recording, I was talking about like Kurt Hummel, like that was my gay experience, when I was little. um, but now it's definitely branched out. Like shows like Pose. I don't know if you've heard of the show called Pose. It's so good. It's like about the ball scene in New York,
Hmm.
and like it's all these like trans people and about their experience. It definitely needs it definitely needs improving.
Hmm.
It is not perfect by any definition of the word or anything like that. It still has some ways to go, but it's definitely a lot better.
I definitely agree with you in that I think it certainly was terrible and kind of non-existent, especially like when I was really young. Because also the like early 2000s was kind of like an oddly homophobic time. Like I don't
Yes.
really know where that came from, but like I saw the other day like I don't remember, it was like the FDA or something. They did a anti like smoking cigarette commercial, and it was literally like smoking is gay. And I'm like, "Oh,
Is it the ones where they like go into the bathroom and smoke, but they're like
yes.
really close together and they're like, are they smoking or are they just gay?
Yeah."
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I mean, it's a great commercial. I mean, it's terrible, but it's great, and I absolutely
Yeah.
love it. Um,
Yeah.
but that something like that would never happen today for good
No.
reason.
No, definitely not. That's so funny. Some people say Moonlight is the best queer film. I beg to differ. I think it's that. Definitely the smoking commercial with the two gay people in the bathroom.
Yes, of course. So how do you feel about the queer representation in like TV?
Um, to be completely honest, I mean, for me, I think it's okay, but that's just because I go out and I look for these shows where I can
Yes.
like see myself in them. But if I didn't know, if I like didn't have Netflix or Hulu or anything, and I just was like on like I don't know what like ABC Family, I'd probably be like what is this? Like get me out of here. I'm scared. Like mom, pick me up. Like no, thank you. So I don't know. I've noticed that a lot of shows and like it's okay. I don't know if you've heard like everything with like J.K. Rowling, like
Oh my
stuff has
God.
been out for a while, and then all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
this person is black,
Hmm.
and this other person is gay,
Yeah.
but and stuff like that, like trying to like force it into this like the show or into the
Yeah.
movie or whatever. Like after all of us are like.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling, kind of a problematic person, a little transphobic.
All the homies hate J.K. Rowling. Oh my God, yeah. What is she? A turf? A trans?
Yeah,
Wait, no, trans exclusionary or something? Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
she's not it. Yeah, no, but yeah, if I was just like scrolling through like CBS All Access and I just saw like just Once Upon a Time and like all those other like what's the one about that doctor? Yeah, probably wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know, but not great, not great. No.
yeah.
But yeah, luckily I can go out and find stuff that I'm like interested in, stuff that I see myself in, because as
Hmm.
people, we try to look for that relatability in the media and stuff we can relate to.
I agree with you 100%. Like, a lot of times you have to actively like search and look for it because it is so hard to like you're not just gonna come across it. You have to like
No.
actually look for it.
No, I'm not going to be scrolling through the TV and just all of a sudden there's going to be two men having sex on my like on my TV. That's not happening. That will never happen.
No,
So yeah, I
sadly.
have to go look for it. Hmm.
I always I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but the way that I see it is like I think Netflix does like actually a really good job in like including queer stuff in their shows and films.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm impressed by them. Almost from what I've seen, like a lot of their shows will have some sort of representation in it, and I really
yeah.
appreciate that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like it's that. It's very that. Especially with like gender. I've noticed a lot too.
Hmm.
They like play with that a lot, and I've noticed how there's like the sci-fi tab and the horror tab and the drama tab.
Hmm.
There's now like a an LGBT section, and I feel
Yeah,
like there's been one for like a year or two now. But like it's nice to like look at that and be like, oh, other people are seeing this, and maybe they can kind of realize what it's like to experience what it is to be queer, and I think that's
yeah,
great.
yeah. And conversely, I think when I think of like mainstream like television, like cable TV, the only picture that I have of queer representation is like the Grey's Anatomy type shows. And honestly, I hate it. I hate it so much. I am happy that there's progress being made, that it's being included at all, but at
Mhm.
the same time, it's not good.
It is not good. It's just with shows like that, I always felt like it's always been like quality under the content. Like they always push stuff out and it's not really that great.
Hmm.
Like if you have like what is it, like season 12 or season however many they have, and there's like a gay storyline. Like not saying that like it has to be like shoved in your face, but like
Hmm.
nobody's really gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna stick around for that. And it's
Yeah.
also not gonna be like great, with everything else going on. So I get what you mean.
And also, I feel like shows like Grey's Anatomy, whenever they include something like that, and there are other shows like it, like, uh, I think like 911 or whatever that show is. Like they do it, but whenever I see it, it's like it's either A, overly sexualized, because if you're queer, you have to be overtly sexual.
If you are gay, you have to have 10 abs on every limb,
Yes.
and you have to be like either really hairy or just not at all,
Hmm.
normally white. Or there's that one black guy, the one black gay guy who always shows up out of nowhere, and they're
Yep.
like, "Yes, diversity." Or there's that one gay guy with like eyeliner, and he's like, "I'm here to be like me."
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, and then the other side of it is for some reason, I I don't know if it's just because I pay more attention to it, because I feel like they definitely do it in like the straight relationships as well. But for
Hmm.
me, it seems like the queer ones are always like have a lot more like issues with them. Like for instance, like the couples will fight more, or they'll have more like issues like that. It's like it makes it seem like it's a lot harder to be in a queer relationship just like at home than it is to be in a straight one.
Definitely, yeah. Like as like it being, I'm not in a relationship, but like I mean, being in a gay relationship, there are definitely things you'll have to experience that straight people won't, obviously.
Hmm.
But that's not to say that I would fight with my boyfriend more than you know
Exactly.
it's just kind of enforcing like stereotypes again, and
Hmm.
we think we've come really far, which we have in some ways, but in other ways, like I remember one of my friends, I was in the parking lot with her eating hot Harry's, right, and we were just like having a discussion, and then she was talking about how like homophobia like is so subtle. Like I feel like
Hmm.
it's rare that I've experienced like blatant like, yes, like you are an FAG, like go throw yourself off a cliff and die, stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't really happen. It's more subtle stuff.
Hmm.
And I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, like subtle stuff to me, subtle stuff to my friends, subtle stuff in the media, like on TV, on Instagram, even like from other gay people. It's like
Hmm.
stuff like that. And it's ridiculous. Like, can't we just have like, not saying that like fighting isn't normal, but can we just have like an actual like normal?
Yeah.
relationship, you know?
Yeah. That's why I dislike, the Grey's Anatomy type queer representation, because I just feel like all the time it's just never really that good. And like I appreciate that they're trying to like bring the representation into like the mainstream, but
Hmm.
also if you're gonna do it well.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, talking about Grey's Anatomy, I was watching the show, right? It's called The Flight Attendant, and
Mhm.
there's this gay couple in it, and the guy, my dad was telling me, was a gay, like he was on Grey's Anatomy, and he came out as gay, and he got fired because another actor had such an issue with it, it was causing like problems on scene, so they had to get rid of one
Mm.
of them, and they were like, obviously not this other guy, so let's get rid of this flamboyant man.
Get rid of the gay one.
I know the gay one must go. Sacrifice.
Yep. You are our sacrifice, our Grey's Anatomy sacrifice. To reach the 20th season, we need to get rid of the gay guy.
I know, it's just so ridiculous. It's like,
Yeah.
really?
Um, Another one of the shows, and of course it's on Netflix, that I think is actually good, or at least I enjoyed it. I don't think it's, obviously, I don't think anything is going to be perfect, but I think Sex Education is pretty good.
Uh, that show is so good. Oh my God. I dream of being, oh my God, Otis's mom. I
Yeah.
want to be her. I don't want to be a sex therapist, but I want to live in her house. I want to have like that, like, she just has such like a confidence that she radiates. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, but that show is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of forgot about it because I finished season two like the second it came out, and I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god! And then it's been a while, but yeah, no, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that Sex Education does a good job. Like, obviously, I think some things are played up and whatnot,
Oh,
and stereotyped,
definitely.
but I like the fact that they're not afraid to have main characters be queer, and like that's not always their main character trait, because a lot of
Hmm.
times when you see a queer character, that is their character trait. But I feel like in Sex Education, that's not necessarily the case. And also, I like that it does, like, even though you may not have a main character who is asexual, they still
Hmm.
have, like, that conversation about it, and try to, like, talk
Exactly.
about it and normalize it.
And also, like, it's so rare for me to find like TV shows where the gay, like the main character is gay and their best friend isn't also like a gay person. Like, I know Otis isn't like 100% like on the straight spectrum,
Yeah.
but like, it's just so nice to see like a gay person be friends with somebody else who isn't, just to like kind of like normalize it.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, gay people are like herd animals, but like that's like not like the only part. Like,
Yeah.
it's just nice to see something different.
Exactly. And also I think like I would like the thing is I don't even think I mean Otis is definitely like the main character, but
Hmm.
I would argue that he's really like the other characters are also like the main character.
Everyone in that show is so well developed that it's so hard for me to like not like be interested. Like, like sometimes I'll
Yeah.
be like watching TV and I'll be like on my phone and I'm like, well, this is just like mindless and I don't really care. Like in this show, like every character just is so intriguing to me.
Mhm.
Like, and it's just so hard for me to not pay attention just because like it's so good.
Yeah. Like Adam for example, like in season 1 he wasn't like developed as much, but season
No,
2 like when he went to the military school, like that was like thank you for focusing on him and him like
exactly.
experiencing that.
And he can, yeah. And what was that thing? Didn't he see like those two guys like
Mhm.
fooling around with each other? And then they were like, no, so they kicked him out. And I was
Yeah.
like, that is so sad.
Yeah.
And then he had to go home with his like dad, and like that's not fun. So I love how
Mhm.
this podcast has turned into like reviewing sex ed.
Yeah, well,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sure it'll happen for other shows and stuff too, but
It better. It's so good.
Another show on Netflix that I think is good, The Umbrella Academy.
I have okay. There are so many shows like Euphoria and The Umbrella Academy and like all these shows that everybody talks about 24/7, and I'm like, I need to try that.
Hmm.
I have not seen that before. I've
Oh.
heard that it's good. I just like haven't watched it, and I want to. But like, there's just like so many things that like Euphoria. Everybody talks about that because
Hmm.
everybody's like obsessed with Zendaya, and I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, I'll watch that, and then I go to episode one, and I'm like, okay, well, time to go to bed, and then I fall asleep. So
Yeah,
tell me, what's the Umbrella Academy about?
yeah. So I'll explain it without giving spoilers. So basically, there's this family who have they're a very dysfunctional family. They have superpowers. Some of them very overpowered. Like they have very strong powers that could destroy the world, and basically they have to try to work together to stop the end of all days or whatever. And there's a lot of drama and stuff in between. But my absolute favorite character of all time, Klaus. Oh my god.
Love that name.
He is without a doubt 100% my favorite character. And I just love that man. I would date him for sure. He's in the beginning he's a drug addict. He has to like work through that and try to become sober. But he is so funny and I love him so much.
I just looked him up. He's hot. Oh my god.
Yes, I know.
Hi.
Yeah, uh-huh. I know.
Update. I leave the podcast early just to watch the Umbrella Academy so I can see this man on my screen.
Yeah, definitely recommend watching the show if not for just Klaus. And then it gets so sad. I won't spoil anything, but my God, does his story get sad? And I feel so bad for him. But he's an absolute doll, and I love him. And then there's Vanya, who is also queer. Um,
Oh, that's a pretty name.
and I already forgot what his name is. Um, Basically, in this show, Vanya is one of the sisters, but the actress came out, so now it's the actor. And I forget what his
Oh, yes, I heard about that. Elliot Page.
Elliot Page, thank you. And so I'm really curious to see what they do for season three if they actually work that in, because I would love to see them trying to deal with a trans story because I feel like that's almost never seen in the media.
Oh
And I
no.
would really appreciate that, especially because you have an actor who is trans doing that, which
Hmm.
would certainly help make it feel more real and be more real.
Yeah, exactly. I saw on Twitter people were like, hire a new actor or a new actress or whatever. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, you guys are so intense. Like, let's like, there's like no need. I was like, it's just so annoying. Like, really, it's a
Hmm.
show, and like, I get like, shows are important, and like it's important that like hopefully they'll keep the same actor and deal with it in the show. But like at the same time, it's a show.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I still never understand the outrage that comes when people uh, announce that they are trans. Like, who fucking cares?
Literally, exactly. And like if they were attached to the character, like great. But like now, stuff's changing.
Yes. People change in real life, therefore characters in a show can change.
Exactly. We are people. You cannot always be expected to be, whoever we see on screen all the time.
Hmm. And then another, like the last, I guess, point I'll add to like the TV aspect of this is I feel like children's shows are actually getting really good. Like there's some really good shows that I will just watch now because like they're good.
Exactly.
And they actually have like queer representation, and I'm like, yes, like Steven Universe.
Oh my gosh, yes, that show was so good. I remember it was at the end of like the days where I used to watch Cartoon Network and that show
Hmm.
would come on and I didn't really keep up with it, but like I remember they were like Garnet is like a relationship between like two women and
Hmm.
I remember they got like married and I was like, is this happening on like Cartoon Network?
Exactly.
I was like, wait a second. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I was younger then, so I didn't really understand. I was like, one of them has to be a man. Like this cannot be on Cartoon Network. Like I was happy, but it seemed too good to be true to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, there is no way. But
Hmm.
yes, that show was good.
Yeah. Adventure Time has some moments of it.
Adventure Time. Oh my God. Have I told you my cat's name?
No.
Okay, I have a cat, right? He's like 22 pounds. He's all black. His name is Tree Trunks.
Hmm.
After that like elephant.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, you didn't need to know that, but I thought I would share that.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate this information. I remember specifically at the time I didn't understand it, but I saw like a post about it recently, about like Princess Cookie, and I don't
Yes.
know if you
Oh
remember
my God,
that.
that showed up on my YouTube feed, and I like didn't watch the episode, but it showed up on like my
Yeah,
recommended page, and like Princess Cookie just wanted to be a princess, but like he was
yeah,
like a boy, and then
uh-huh,
he like tried to kill himself, and I was like, this is literally. I like cried. I was like, it
yeah.
was like 2 a.m., and I was in my room, and I was like, Princess Cookie. That sounds nice. Why would I like my drag name would be Princess Cookie? Okay, I'll watch that. And then I watched it, and I was like, this is so sad. I was
Yeah,
like, oh my God. Oh my God, that was terrifying. Or not
yeah.
terrifying. I was just like so sad. I was like, this is so. Oh my God.
Hmm.
I was like, this is on Cartoon Network too. I was like, what? I was like, what are they doing on Cartoon Network? I was like so shocked. I was like,
Yeah.
no.
And I'm very thankful for it because like when shows like these are made and they're specifically made for that audience, it helps
Mhm.
kids growing up now to realize that they can be queer. It's okay.
Exactly. I feel like part of like feeling so alienated is that you don't see yourself represented when you're young.
Mhm.
So then you're like, well, there's something wrong with me, you know?
Yeah.
And if I had seen stuff like that when I was younger, I feel like I would feel a lot more secure with who I was at a younger age. It
Mhm.
wouldn't have taken me as long to be like, oh no, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you because you saw it on Cartoon Network, you
Yeah.
know? So I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, it's just great that that stuff's being on there. Like it's like a real thing, but like they know how to communicate it to younger kids in a way that they'll understand.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah. For like when I was realizing, well, struggling to figure out if I was gay, I really didn't want to be gay because I like the only thing I'd ever seen of it was negative. And so I was like, well, I'm not gay.
Hmm.
And then I just pushed that back for like years.
Uh-huh. When I was younger, I thought gay people all had to be like really skinny twinks with really big greasy foreheads and like really thin lips. So I was like, oh, like I would look at myself in the mirror and I was like, well, you're stocky. You're not twin thin. Twig. Oh my God, twin thin. Oh my God, I'm dead. Ah, twig thin. That's what I meant. Your forehead isn't that big. I was like, you're not gay. And then I was like, no, no, you are. It's so funny. I
Yeah.
thought all gay people look the same. I don't know why, but
Mhm.
that's like, yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess the last show I'll bring up, She-Ra.
Yes. Oh my God, that show was so good.
I've only seen season one, but like already I
Me
can,
too. I've only seen season one.
yeah. But like I can tell it's a good show, and I know it. Like it's never explicitly like straight. It's like you can be whatever you want.
That the flower princess, the one who can like make shit grow. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that is me. I don't care. I want to be her. I was like, that bitch can make like plants. Like, I was like, yes. I was like in my office, right? Because this is my dad's office that I'm in right
Mm-hmm.
now. But I'm in here 24/7. So I put like all these plants. I have this like cactus with like pink stuff on it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want to be her. I love
That's
that show.
great. Yeah. So I guess now that we've talked about TV, let's transition into movies and film.
Mm.
Do you have any examples that you would like to talk about or talk about it in general? Because there's not a lot out there.
No, there is not. I would say my favorite movies with like queer representation would definitely be Moonlight. Moonlight is great. If you haven't watched Moonlight, watch it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's like the only movie that has had like gay people in it where I'm like, yes, this is like a great movie. Because it wasn't romanticized, it was real. It was like a real
Yeah.
thing. Movies that I don't like as much with gay representation. I saw this thing, right? It was on Twitter. It was like Love Simon is for like white girls who like to like drag their
Yeah,
GBFs to the movie theater to see together. Like Love Simon, like yeah, it was cute, but I was like, eh. And the same with like, okay, I have like, have you ever seen Call Me by Your Name?
I have. Yeah.
Okay. So I thought, right, so this is back when I hadn't seen any other gay movies. This was like the first gay movie I ever saw back in like
Mm-hmm.
2017. I was like, this is the best movie ever. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, it would be nice to live in northern or Italy with like a really hot guy. But at the same time, like it something about it was like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. But yeah, but my favorite movie with like gay people in it is definitely, and this is just men, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely Moonlight. And then my least favorite would probably have to be Love Simon. Sorry, white girls.
Sorry, white girls. Not sorry,
Sorry,
though.
Middle America. I'm very sorry, but that is my least favorite queer movie.
Yeah. The Moonlight is so good. like I took a film class my first semester of college, and I've only been through one semester of college so far, but I took a film class, and for my final paper, I wrote about Moonlight, um, and it got me like one of the best grades in the class, and I was like, yes. But like seriously, Moonlight is so good, and it's not just because it's gay. It's because
No,
like all aspects of the film are good, like the cinematography, the editing, the
it's
sound.
beautiful when they're in the water, like in
Mm-hmm.
the last movie, and that quote where it's like in like the moonlight, like black boys turn blue,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like in the water, and at the end, like I was like I don't think I've ever had that much of an emotional response to a movie, and I it was just because it dealt with like drug addiction, like
Yeah.
his mom,
Mm-hmm.
it dealt with like death, it dealt with like all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just I don't know, it was just such a good movie. And like I liked how it went from the like the stages of this kid's life,
Mm-hmm.
like how like you can tell like he was targeted when he was younger, when all those kids were like chasing him, when he had to hide in that like rundown like motel room or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and then it followed him up until like where the movie ended, and it was just it was such a beautiful movie.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
It truly was. And if you haven't seen it, please do. Like seriously, it is a movie that I would recommend to everyone, whether you are queer or not.
or not, it is so good. My favorite scene, well, one of my favorite scenes is when he like takes that chair up and like smashes his bully with it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, work, you better work. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I
I was like,
mean,
take out all that gay rage on this man.
yeah.
Yeah,
When I heard the music like start preparing for that, I was like, "Oh, shit's about to go down." And like I was rooting for him, but at the same time I was like, "Oh, if you do it, things are not going to end
I
well for
was
you."
genuinely scared. I was like, you better, but at the same time, like, run away.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, well, not speaking of because we spoke about it earlier, but movies that are kind of more like they're not so as real. They're kind of more like the romanticized version of it. I watched a movie. It's on Netflix called Handsome Devil, and it wasn't terrible. It was kind of decent, but
Kind of deep.
you know, it was definitely one of those movies where it's like, yes, we we made this to like make gay be romantic, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, fair enough, but I
Mhm.
also want to see real stuff, and it kind of deals with some real things, because like like the school that they go to is like most of them are like you know anti-gay. They'll say the F word.
My favorite word. I hate that word too.
And then I have a movie to I have a movie to recommend to people as well. It's called The Watermelon Woman, and this is one of those movies that I got to watch because of my film class. And it's basically I don't remember. I think this is the name, but the director is Cheryl Dunye, and basically she is a black lesbian, and like she made the movie to give black lesbians a story because she's there's like a quote at the end. I don't even remember what the quote is, but it's really good. And it's like sometimes you have to make your own history because it's non-existent, and that's basically what the entire film was. It was trying to give a history to black lesbians because they had never really been accepted or talked about in history, and so she kind of created this story to be that, and it's a really good story about it's not specifically just about like being black and lesbian, but it certainly deals with that heavily, and I think it's a very good film.
That's such like an important quote too. Like that can resonate with like so many things.
Hmm.
Like there's so much out there. There's so many facets of the community that just don't have any representation.
Hmm.
Like and it's sad that we have to like make our own stuff to feel like we belong, but that's where we are.
Yeah, but like the idea is like there were no like famous you know like black lesbians of history, and so she kind of created this story where this character is uh lesbian, and she's trying to like find out about this famous actress, the Watermelon Woman, who isn't real, like in our world, but it's real in her world. And so that was like the whole idea. It's like go out and make that history, find that history, and make it real. Just try and spread that so people know more about it. And it was really cool.
I like that. Yeah, the only like prominent like black lesbians I can think of is like Wanda Sykes.
Yeah, I don't remember when the movie was made, but I think it was like yeah, no, I'm not even gonna try. I don't remember. But also in one of my classes we talked about the Oscars, and a while ago the hashtag was Oscars so white because they are.
Yeah.
And I kind of wrote like a thing about it, and we watched like videos on it, and it was really interesting to see how the Academy and the Oscars, like as a an organization, like is trying to like find better representation, and a lot of times they still fail. But I I definitely like that they're trying.
Yeah, I saw this thing. It was like the first like Mexican woman or the first Mayan woman who got like nominated for like best actress or best supporting actress or something like
Hmm.
that. And even though she was nominated for such a big category, she wasn't seated in the front row. Like she was like a few back,
Hmm.
which, that's not good.
Yeah.
And like stuff like that. It's like I said about like the homophobia. It's like subtle stuff like that, especially like in Hollywood when it comes to like race and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, a lot of Hollywood is basically just racist and
Yeah.
homophobic, which is really heartbreaking to see. And you wish it weren't like that, but
Hmm.
that has been set up for like decades, and it's
Definitely.
just really hard to break that down now. Um, and there are people who are trying, and they're slowly chipping away at it, but it definitely requires a lot more still.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
And another thing, even though this doesn't have to do with being queer, but um, I was really happy to see that Parasite won like best film
Oh
because
my
it was like
God.
the first non-American, not white film. Well, other not white films have won it, but it was like the first
Hmm.
foreign film to win the Oscar for best film.
Yes, and I didn't even notice. Like, I'm not like super political, but I didn't even notice that like Donald Trump like commented on that until like I saw something about it like a couple months ago where he was like, and like something like saying that like he was upset or something that like
Hmm.
some Asian country won like the best film category along with like three other things,
Yeah.
and like a bunch of the people in the crowd were like booing and everything, and I was like, we all know none of you watched that movie, so like I don't know why you're so. I was like, what?
I thought it was a really good film. I thought it was a really good movie.
It was such a good movie. Oh my God, the scene where like they're talking about the kid eating the cake,
Hmm.
and then like it cuts to that scene with like the guy living in the cellar, like but it's only like his eyes like coming up over the stairs.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like such like a beautiful shot. I was like, this is like such a good
Hmm.
movie.
Yeah.
And then when it like that the woman's head like smacks like the basement, like the concrete wall, I
Hmm.
was like, I'll work. I was like, yes, throw in that neck, you better work. And
Hmm.
then she like died, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's sad. But it was such a good film. Oh my God, it was so good. And the soundtrack and everything was
Hmm.
so amazing.
Are there any other movies that you can think about? I know it's hard.
Oh my gosh. If it's taking me more than like 10 seconds, no, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, besides the fact, okay, quick, okay, so back when I was in like elementary school, right? We were talking about how, you have to go out and find like gay films. And that's
Hmm.
back when Netflix was like, my dad was getting like CDs in the mail. Like that
Hmm.
was what Netflix was. So I remember there was this like one gay soap opera that I would always look up on YouTube, and I'd always look up like gay soap operas like every couple months to see if like any new ones popped up, and they were all age restricted. And I was like,
Hmm.
well, there you go. So yeah, I guess that one gay soap opera from like 7 years ago was like my favorite gay film. But yeah, no, I really don't. I can't think of anything. Like I can think of movies with like gay people in them, but like that's just it. They're gay
Hmm.
people in a movie. It's not like a movie about the gay experience. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, here's this flamboyant queen. Let's throw them in
Yeah.
as like the best friend, and then call it a day.
Unlike TV shows, it is very, very hard to find a movie about some sort of queer thing. Um,
Exactly.
and I think that's just because Hollywood certainly isn't going to do it. And so you basically
Yeah.
need independent filmmakers to do it. And most of that doesn't become mainstream because why would it? Because they're just independent filmmakers. They can't make good stuff.
Yeah, the last independent film that I can think of that got like huge attention was Cuties, and that's because it was like pedophilic.
Hmm.
Did you hear about that? Oh
I
my God,
did, yeah.
Cuties by Maimuna Dukure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And there we are. But yeah, no, I really yeah, I can't think of yeah, exactly. Like, and it's honestly all about money. Like they know that they're not going
Hmm.
to get as big of a profit off of like two like gay people like making out. So they're going to be like,
Hmm.
maybe we should skip this one. And if of course all of a sudden gay people become like super profitable, I'm sure they're going to throw a bunch of gay shit in their face, but I
Yeah.
don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Hmm. Also, I was gonna bring it up in like the TV, but I forgot to. Um, I used to like watch a lot of gay anime, and I just wanted to bring that up.
Sorry. There's nothing wrong with watching gay anime that just like came out of nowhere. That was like a lot of gay anime. That's so funny. Okay, the only gay anime I have ever watched, it
Hmm.
was like I think it was in seventh or eighth grade, and like this was like my friend group at the time, right? Just keep that in mind. They were all talking about the show called Yuri on Ice,
Oh my
and I was
god!
like, I don't know what that is. So I looked it up, and it was on YouTube. Like all of it was available,
Yeah.
and I watched it, and I was like, okay, but like so I and then like I was talking to my one friend. She's not my friend anymore, but like whatever. She was like, "Did you get to the part where they like had sex?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" I was like, "Did I watch like the censored version or something?" I was like, "I did not see that. Like, are you on Pornhub?" I am not. I'm on YouTube. Have
Yeah.
you heard of it? So yeah, that's like my one. That was my
Hmm.
one run in with gay anime. Just like my one run in with
Yeah.
GSA freshman year. Like scared me half to death. Didn't go back. Scared me half to death. Didn't watch another episode. We were
Hmm.
done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for me, like in middle school, like late middle school, that I was very much like uh I don't I guess I'll just say I was kind of a weeaboo. I mean, not like outwardly, but I watched a lot of anime and like secret, like in secret, I like shut myself in my room and just like lights all down, all
Under the
off, under the
covers.
covers, like yes, and I would just like
Anime.
watch anime, um, and so, but I would look for like gay animes because like that was a time when I was like I think I'm gay. I'm pretty sure I'm gay. I at least like guys, and I really want to. And so I would look for them, and yeah, that's what I would do as a wee little lad.
There's nothing wrong with anime. I think I like anime's like I've never really seen much. I've never seen anything beside Yuri on Ice. So that if that's all you've seen, you have kind of a clouded view on anime.
Hmm.
But I mean, some of it looks like really beautiful. Like the animation, it looks so
Hmm.
nice. I've only seen one movie, and like people don't even consider it anime. It's called Spirited Away.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. That is probably one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's like those two things, Spirited Away, which is on like probably like the highest end of that, and then Yuri on Ice, which is definitely not. Yeah, but it just seems so nice. But
Hmm.
I feel bad because a lot of people who watch anime get like a lot of hate. And I remember I used to like make fun of people for watching anime in like ninth grade. I'd be like, "Ha, you suck! You watch anime." And now here I am. I'm like, "Oh my god, it's like such a nice, amazing art form." But like, there you go.
Yeah. Now the thing is, whenever I watched anime, I would watch like the very stereotypical anime, like, and I didn't even watch like the cool ones, like Attack on Titan or anything. Like, I just was like, I'm gonna watch the gay ones and the romance ones, because I'm just, and yeah, that was my life. And the thing is, I wouldn't like watch them on any actual platform. I would like find the pirated YouTube versions of them and watch them on YouTube. uh
That's so fun. Yes, I love pirating things.
so the next category I have, I don't know if you have any experience in this, but I wanted to talk about it because I think it's also an important media form, video games.
I have little to zero experience with video games, and I feel like if you heard me speak, you would know that just because I'm like, "Hi guys, how are you?" Like it's me, Tim. Like, does it sound like I play video game? No, it doesn't. So, I remember I used to be like really big into Minecraft, but we all know there aren't any drag queens in Minecraft, so we can't really talk about that. Yeah, that's it. It's like
Nice.
But like I don't know, like I haven't really done a lot of like research into that just because it's not stuff that I look for. So I don't really know what representation is like. I
Hmm.
I wouldn't imagine that it's great, but I also don't know. So
Yeah. It's definitely not good. Like there are very little like big title AAA mainstream games that have like representation in them. Um
Mhm.
the ones one of my favorite like video game series of all time is Mortal Kombat, and they had one singular gay character and his name was Kung Jin in Mortal Kombat X. And I remember he I remember like him being gay was like so under the radar. It was like you had to like dig in the dirt to like realize that he was gay. And he was the only character, and I was like, well, this is what the representation is.
I am him in my town. I am the Kanye.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And then I'll just kind of list off a few. So there's the Arcana, which is a dating sim. I think it's like free on your phone. I haven't played it, um, but I know that it allows you to use like they them pronouns and stuff like that. So that's really cool.
The only one I've seen a bunch of like gay YouTubers that I like sometimes watch like play this game on their phones where like it's like this it's like a gay simulation thing, but like it's like they're like daddies and they're like
Dream Daddy.
animated though. But the Dream Daddy, yes, it's Dream Daddy. That is what it is, Dream Daddy. Dream Daddy. I think it's so funny. I like remember like yep, Dream Daddy. Oh, and then episodes. Sometimes I'll get like ads for like episode that
Hmm.
game like on your phone, and then it'll be like, oh my god, like it's like this girl like watching this other girl change. She'd be like, options. Do I like go in and like touch her, or do I like pretend this never happened? And I
Yeah.
was like, what am I watching? I was
Yeah.
like, okay, let's skip that.
Exactly. Yeah. Dream Daddy's a weird one. I had that on my list. Again, I've never played it, but I've seen people play it.
I have never played Dream Daddy.
Monster Prom and Monster Camp, those are good ones. I actually played Monster Camp on the YouTube channel, so if you want to watch that you can. And it's basically like you can date whoever you want. You can be whoever you want. So
Mhm.
it's good. And then Monster Camp outdid the first one by having a dateable character who is non-binary. So thank you. That's great. And then there is I'll bring up like some of like the actual big games now that have like it like The Sims kind of.
Stop! The Sims. Oh my gosh, I used to have that on my iPad, and I
Hmm.
bought like a $7 like pack to like buy like I don't know if it was like furniture or something, but it
Uh-huh.
didn't process, so I didn't get the furniture for my $7. So like a dumb bitch, I paid for it again with my birthday money. I was like, "Here, Dad, here's another $7 so I can buy this like little furniture pack." And he was like, "Are you sure it didn't work the first time?" And I was
Hmm.
like, "Mm-hmm. The Sims wouldn't do this to me, Dad. They'd love me." So I buy it, right? And
Yeah.
then I don't get it again. And then I threw my iPad at the wall.
Hmm.
And then my dad was like, okay, no more Sims.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, wow, the Sims have really corrupted me.
Yeah, The Sims
Like,
is much like the anime. The Sims is one of those games that I would like hide away in my room and like, like create like gay relationships with, you know?
that's so, yes. I remember I went back to my Sim town and there was like pee on the floor and the people were like dead low key. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? We used to be such a beauteous family and now all of you are living in just this. Oh God. I was like, wow, I really let my Sims family down.
Yeah.
If only I had gotten those two $7 furniture packs, maybe
Yeah.
they wouldn't have to pee on the floor.
Yeah, they would have had an actual toilet to use.
Yeah, yes.
But yeah, The Sims, I don't really give it, I mean, I give it credit, but not that much credit because The Sims like the game as a whole, kind of an atrocious like way to do it. Like each game pack is like a full game's price, and it's just like it's just EA being EA. But the thing I like about it is you can be whoever you want and you can do whatever you want. As you can be in a gay relationship if you'd like.
I liked making two men woohoo. Like that was like what I did.
Yes, of course.
Like that I was like, wow, this is like the most action I'll ever see. Two Sims woohooing in a bed with sheet cover like covers
Yeah.
over them. With like the little like swirls. I was like,
Hmm.
you know what? Maybe this is what I'm supposed to do with my life.
And then I a little tip for you. This is so stupid, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Um, if you have two, like if you're in a gay relationship in The Sims, you can actually get one of them pregnant by having an alien abduct them and impregnate them.
That is so funny. Oh my god. Abduct women.
So, if you ever wanted that, you can.
If my future husband is listening to this, I am sorry, but I am going to be the one to have to volunteer to be abducted by an alien and be impregnated.
Oh,
Thank you. No
of course.
questions.
Um,
That's so
Star
funny.
Stardew Valley is pretty good. You can date like anyone. The Life is Strange. That's like a choices matter game. That one's pretty good. The main characters are lesbian.
Yes.
Um, I don't know much about it, but I think Borderlands has some queer representation. It's like a first person shooter. I don't really like the game that much, but I mean, there it is if you want it. And then we dive into the controversial one, The Last of Us Part Two. This is like for me, this was like the first AAA game, which is basically like a video game made by like one of the big game studio companies and like
Hmm.
one of the mainstream ones that had like actual like representation. Like again, the main character Ellie is lesbian and she dates a girl, and that's they eventually get married, and that's cool and all. But then this is where people were like, "No, you're putting politics into my game," and I was like, "Really?"
When
And
they got
that
married,
no, no, well that too, but mostly because there was a trans character in the game because that's politics.
of course, yes.
Yeah, there's a boy that one of the Abby comes across, who has basically been like shunned. Well, he would be killed if he went back to his tribe, but he's been like shunned from his tribe because he was born female and but he is a male, and so all of that happens. And I read like an article on it, and I did research into it because I wrote like a small thing on it. And from what I've seen, uh, it's not like the best trans representation, but it's good, it's decent, um, and it's like I was really impressed by it, not like just based purely on the fact that a AAA game had a trans character, and I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Hmm.
And so yeah,
No, I was gonna say something about Animal Crossing, but that's not. That's like literally the fucking gayest game. I was like Animal Crossing, and you were like, yeah, like first person shooter games, and I was like, oh.
well, no, Animal Crossing. I brought up Stardew Valley, and that's basically Animal Crossing but pixelated. Yeah, Animal Crossing is, I'd say, it's pretty gay.
Yeah, oh my God, totally. Yeah. No, I got like I literally when quarantine started, right? I was like, okay, I have this all this money saved up and I'm literally gonna be so bored because I have nothing to do. So I bought a Nintendo Switch and I bought Animal Crossing, like the what is it? Animal Crossing New what is it? I don't even know. New Horizons, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it is literally it was like so much fun. Like while the world was crumbling around me and like what is it? NBC Nightly News, like Lester Holt was like, yeah, like we're all gonna pass away. I was like on Animal Crossing and I was like planting flowers and like
Hmm.
bushes, and I was like, oh my god, like he's cute. It's such a good game.
Very addicting. I played
Hmm.
it for a while too, and yeah, but it is pretty gay. Like
Oh,
it is a game for gay people, I would say. I mean, obviously non-gay people like straight people can play it, but who
definitely. Game for gay people. That's so funny. Yes, no, it definitely is though, because I remember I got it. Like Ben got it. Ben and I got it together, and we were like,
Mhm.
yes, like we're gonna play this game, and we would visit each other's islands, and we would pretend that we were like dating, and we would be like, oh my god, like let's go to the aquarium and like take pictures.
Uh-huh.
It was so I love that game. Oh my god, Animal Crossing is so much
Yes, I
fun.
agree. And so I guess I'll talk about this now. So, social media sites, which is
No.
no.
Wait, okay, I don't know where you're going with this, but where my mind jumped, I was like, I'm already triggered. Wait, what were you saying? I'm sorry. I said stop the podcast immediately.
I was just gonna talk about like it's easier to find like queer representation in like social media because they're queer people on social media, but the companies themselves tend to not, be the
I
best.
love all those like memes that come out like the second July is over, or is it June? Oh my God, I'm such a bad gay. Wait, Pride Month is June, right?
I don't.
Yes, Pride Month is June. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. It
I
starts with a J.
I don't
See,
know. I'm a little
it's
closeted gay boy, so I wouldn't know.
why? I have literally been to so many Pride Month. This is embarrassing. Wait, what is the gayest month? June. I was right. It's June. Okay. So I think it's so funny. All the memes that come out after June is over and July starts, like
Hmm.
all those companies like dropping all their like gay branding and everything and like
Yep.
all their like gay spokespeople. And they're like, okay, let's come back to this next year. And I
Hmm.
think it's so funny because they like none of them care. And then Pride Month happens.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, like, yes, like gay people. And then
Then afterwards they're like, yeah, we don't really care about gay people anymore.
or they'll like have like I'm talking about like clothing brands when I'm talking about this, or they'll have like people endorse their brands or like
Hmm.
model their clothes who have been like homophobic or have been this
Yeah.
or that or the other. And it's like, well, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it does because they want money, but like, on an ethical standpoint, I'm like,
Yeah. And another thing that I've noticed and come across is that how like when a lot like you like set up your account, like they'll have you specify like what gender you are. A lot of them do not have other options other than male or female. So there's like
hmm,
no like non-binary, there's no other, there's no like nothing other like aside from that.
like not specified or rather not say
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Like TikTok, for example. TikTok does not do that. Um,
That's crazy to me because there was literally such a gay presence on TikTok. Like,
yes.
how?
Yeah. Like if I go to my TikTok analytics, it like my followers is just 48.1% female, 51.9% male. It's like there is no in between, there is no other, there is no non-binary. So that's that. But go Spotify and Anchor, the things that I use to upload this podcast.
Listen, Spotify's great. I love Spotify. Did you see like their like ads for their like yearly roundup where they were like talking about like the soundtrack to like 2021 and they were like talking about like people marching and like stuff like that. It
Hmm.
just seemed like so nice.
Yeah, Spotify seems like a genuinely good company.
It's hard to come across those.
Yeah, and the way that I upload my podcast to like Spotify and other sites is through a Spotify like owned company called Anchor, and
Hmm.
like genders that aren't just male and female. Like if I go to the statistics for the podcast right now, I can say 68% of my viewers are female, 19% are male, 6% are non binary, and 4% are not specified.
Oh, you better work. I love that. Well, hello, 4% not specified. My name is Tim.
this
I
this
love that.
this episode is specifically for all you not specified people.
Exactly. If you are non-specified, you will be receiving a $5 coupon to Panera Bread for me since we have an day.
Yes.
So funny. Oh my God.
So yeah, that's I just want to bring that up because I think that's cool. Also, I'll bring up other social media kind of. I again alongside like the anime type thing, I read a lot of like webtoons and comics, and most of them are gay. Like 90% of them are gay because of course they are. Um,
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay attention to straight comics. Like, fuck that. No.
exactly. And so all I have to say is they like the main ones, like the main apps that you can download for that, do a really good job of like being very inclusive.
Oh,
There like
definitely.
there are so many queer comics, and a lot of them are actually like if I get an ad for like that, like there's a good chance that it'll be a queer comic. It's like thank you for tailoring your ads towards me, a queer. I appreciate that.
I'll be on Snapchat and like in between people's stories, I'll get like stuff from webtoons or yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like this like gay mermaid and he like glimmers and like he has to like break free of this like shark prison. And I was like, who the fuck thought of this? Because I want to be
Castle
your friend.
Swimmer. I know the name of that. Castle Swimmer. I read that one.
Surprised it was ghostwritten by Ryan.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like, hi guys, it's me. No, but like I was like, wow, like who like work? Like this is great. I was like, I really hope the homophobic boys at my school see this ad between their snaps. I think that's so funny. I
Yeah.
was like, yes.
There's some really good ones out there. I just want to bring that up because I don't know, maybe there are people listening who want to read or do read comics and they would be interested. So there you go. And then the last category is books and literature. Um, and I don't know if you have any books that you've read that are queer, but
I read I read Call Me by Your Name, the book. I will say if the movie was more like the book, I would think the movie would be better. And I'm
mhm,
not like a huge book person, but I will say the book was 1,000 times better than the movie. The book just feels a lot more real. Like the movie kind of explores like just kind of like romanticizes stuff. But have you read the
mhm.
book?
I have not.
The book kind of like goes through more of like Elio's brain and like what he's like thinking and like
Hmm.
there's like more intention and there's more like thought behind what like happens and I
Yeah.
like the book a lot more. I read that. I read a book called The Black Flamingo.
Hmm.
That was good. Really not no. I tried like well, okay, first of all, reading in general just is not something that I do, which
Hmm.
like not to be like, oh, I'm relatable, like they don't read. No, but like I just literally do not read. Like I don't know why, I don't know what overcomes me when I sit down with a book open and I just can't do it. Like I read and then I'm like, wait, what happened? So I read again and then I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, well that was 1 page and 30 minutes have gone by, so that's not happening.
Hmm.
No, but I really don't have a lot of good like gay books. I wish I did. It's been a dream of mine, honestly, to open like I was in Provincetown, right?
Hmm.
And they have like this bookstore, and like pretty much all of it is just gay, obviously because it's Provincetown.
Yeah.
But they had like drag queen books. They had like books by like gay, like and it was something that I liked is that they had a lot of books by gay authors, but it wasn't about being gay. It was just like
Hmm.
cookbooks and like workout routines
That's
and
cool.
stuff like that. And not that I don't like gay people who talk about being gay, but it was just I don't know. It just felt very like yeah, it was great. But yeah, it's a dream of mine to open like not like a gay bookstore, but like have like a gay book collection and be like,
Hmm.
oh, like you're struggling with your sexuality here, and then I'll like hit you over the head with a book, and then you'll read it, and then you'll come back and you'll be like, thanks, Tim, I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Like that's the goal.
I think again, it's kind of hard to find the gay books unless you're really looking for them. Because most of them
Yeah,
also don't become popular or mainstream or whatever. Um, so
no. Or there'll be like at Barnes and Noble. There's this one book I always pass by. It's literally a rainbow book. And it's like, this book is gay. And I'm like, oh, you better work. I was like, thank you for that. I just, what I would do to go up to the register and be like, here, I'd like this book, please. I'd be like, oh.
Yeah, so I thought I'd just bring up a couple that I have read, and honestly, it's not a lot because I don't know, I don't read, I don't read that much anymore.
Me neither. I used to love reading. I used to like read the house down, and now I just
Hmm.
don't. It's kind of
Yeah.
embarrassing, but
Also, it's like because like I'm afraid to read gay books because like I would read them in my house, and then my dad would like walk by and be like, "Oh, what are you reading?" I'd be like, um,
these two men aren't having sex right now. No, no, they aren't.
no, I'm just
That's what happening. It's
no,
so funny.
I'm reading like The Hunger Games.
So funny. I'm reading a research paper about submarines. How about you?
Yeah. So one of the I read a trilogy called the Zeros trilogy, Zeroes.
Oh, I like that. Like a play on hero.
Yeah, because they're a bunch of zeros that are heroes, and they're like they all have like powers of some sort, and they have to do things to help save the world or whatnot. Anyway, who cares? We're talking about gay stuff. So yeah, there are gay characters in it, which is very cool, very nice.
Mhm.
There I know there's a lesbian couple in it, and then uh, that might be like the most straightforward one, but there are also like kind of like subtle things in it that are like, oh well, man, these people maybe. But yeah, it's a good series. And then the one of the most recent books I've read in general, and which had it is The Cabin at the End of the World. The thing I liked about it is that it's not just like a gay book. It's like the it's basically about this family, which is two dads who are married, and they have a daughter, and they're just like being bombarded by these people who are saying, "Oh, the world's gonna end, and we need you to sacrifice yourselves for it." And they're like, no, thank you."
That is so funny. Oh my god, I want someone to tell me that I need to sacrifice myself. That would be great.
But it was very nice because it was just like, it kind of dealt with like the whole idea of normalizing, same sex marriage. It's
Hmm.
like it wasn't like a big talking point. It's just like these two men are married, so what? Deal with it. And they're just like a happy family. And then it kind of like deals with the idea like their daughter, like she kind of talks. She's really young, but she kind of talks about or like it's narrated through her mind that like her like school and like her classmates are kind of like confused about it, and they'll like question her about it, and she's like, I don't know, they're just my dads.
Yeah, I know. What? That's so sad.
But I don't know. I feel like I feel like if I had grown up like in a household where like both my parents were like queer or like in this like the same sex, I feel like especially now, maybe not so much back then, but
Hmm.
especially now, like I feel like that would have been helpful to me, like kind of
Hmm.
realizing like, oh, I can be this, I can be that, I can be whoever I want, instead of being
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I grew up in a straight family and that's the norm.
No, yeah. I grew up like my dad, he's gay. So I like it was like he told me when I was in like fifth grade, maybe. And I
Mm-hmm.
came out to him when I was in sixth grade. And it was just so nice to see like a successful gay man who had like his own house. He had a kid that
Mm-hmm.
he like. It's so rare to find a single dad who's like, yes, who's gay. I want a kid. I want to actually go through the process of adopting a kid.
Yeah.
Like it was just so nice to see a successful person who has pretty much like a a middle upper middle class life, who's succeeding, who's known in the community, who people respect. And it was just so
Mm-hmm.
nice to be like, yeah, like I can, not that I want to like it was just nice to be like that's a great example,
Yeah.
because like I'm very thankful for that. Like if I didn't have that, I'd feel like I'd be really lost.
Mm-hmm.
Because outside that, like yeah, I have like gay cousins, but like I never see them. Like I see them maybe for Christmas or Thanksgiving every other year, but it's not like oh yeah, like let's go to this person's house and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just like really thankful because like that made coming out literally like so much easier. Like it's so scary, but I was like but like
Mm-hmm.
not to the same extent because I knew he wouldn't be like you're like gonna go to hell. But like
Yeah.
even if we are, we'll be down there together. Like we'll be kikiing, we'll have a good time. So it's fine. But like yeah, it's just nice to see that like it's like possible.
Yeah. I feel like it would definitely make coming out a lot easier. Like if you knew your parents were queer, like it'd just be like, oh, by the way, I'm also queer, and then they'd be like, oh, we knew.
We got new. It's okay.
Yeah, we
Like,
been new. It's all right.
I asked my dad that. I was like, "Did you think I was gay?" And he was like, It was like I don't know. There was one time you were like raking the leaves, and like you were like walking around with like the rake as if it was like some sort of like I don't know. I was just being really flamboyant with this rake, and he was like, "Yeah, kind
That's funny.
of." Or when I would always be way too interested. Well, not way too interested, but like very, very keen on like going through like the Barbie section at Target. He'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah. So I think that's everything that I had planned to talk about with all of the queer media representation and all that. Is there anything else that you can think about?
Honestly, no. I think we did a really good job. I'm proud of us.
Yes, go
It's like
us.
crazy. How long have we been recording? Oh my god, almost an hour and a half. Like I feel like I've been here for 2 seconds. Like it flies by. It's so nice because like we never like talk like all the
Yeah.
time. So like when we do talk, I'm like, oh my god, like my sis, like let's catch up. And then we end up talking about gay anime,
Yeah.
and here we are
My passionate uh you know hobby, watching gay anime.
watching gay anime just casually.
Just
You don't even have
casual.
to like come out to your dad anymore. You just like show him. You just turn your camera
Be
around for
like,
like two
Dad,
seconds.
take a
You're like,
look at this.
take a look at
It's
what I'm watching.
yeah, it's pretty gay, right?
That's, that's so funny.
So yeah, I guess final conclusions. Representation in media. Some places it's all right. Some places it's not good. Overall, we could benefit with some more
Hmm.
and some
Hmm.
better representation, but we're in the right direction, I think. I hope.
Exactly. Yes. Just a reminder, not every gay person is going to experience, some amazing fairy tale, let's get on a Ferris wheel and practically fuck while we're at the top. Like that's not gonna happen.
No.
There's not gonna be a really hot, smart guy who's a little too interested in you while you're in northern Italy with your very like artsy yet kind of weird parents.
Yeah.
Um, what's the other one? Yeah, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. So,
I wish it would.
I wish it would too, honestly. If he wasn't as old, I think I would pretty much give my soul just to experience one summer with like some nice guy in northern Italy, and I could speak Italian. I'd be like, "Buongiorno," like,
Hmm.
"How are you?"
Hmm.
And I go to like a little thing. Right. Okay. Sorry. This is like so quick. But there's a quote in the book that I really like. It's like they're at the bookstore and they're checking out, and Elio writes in the book to Oliver that like he's like somewhere in like northern Italy in like the early '80s or something like
Hmm.
that. And he gives it to Oliver, hoping that he'll like keep it for the rest of his life. So I made a painting and it's like I went to Australia a while ago and I took
Hmm.
like this class with like Aboriginal people about Aboriginal art. And I made something. And then at the end, because I just finished it, it was like my quarantine project.
Hmm.
I wrote in the back because I was like, oh, I'm like a cute girl. I'm gonna write this in the back of my painting. So I was like, somewhere in Western Massachusetts in the early 20s. And I put it up and I was like, Tim, that was in Sharpie and there was no getting that out. You dumb whore. I was like, there's no reason, but whatever. Some when my house burns down long after I'm dead, and like somebody finds that like in the ashes, they'll be like, oh, cool, and then they'll probably use it as firewood, but that's okay because I tried.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. So yes, I agree with you. Yes, it could definitely get better. We're like, just remember, not everything's a fairy tale. It'd be nice if it was, but it's not.
And also consider hiring queer people to actually write and work with you on these things, because chances are they'll know more about it than you do, because I guarantee you're
Yes.
probably straight.
I didn't know that would Call Me by Your Name. I honestly thought Timothy Chalamet was gay, and then I found out both of them, like neither of them were, and like
Hmm.
I was like, It's like the same thing with like voice actors in the show. Like if you have like a biracial voice actor, you should or
Hmm.
a character, you should use like a biracial actor and stuff like
Hmm.
that for their voice. It's like you need to like really like if you're gonna do that, you need to respect
Yes.
what's going on.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
agree.
because I don't really think I'm going to see myself up on a queer film directed by, some girl like Charlie D'Amelio from, like I said, Middle America, because that's where they appeal to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
thanks, but no.
Do you have any final thoughts or questions that you have?
No, not really. Just thank you for letting me come back. Like I said before we started recording, I was at work and a customer was just like really rude to me. She was talking about how Splenda can give you cancer. And I was like, bitch. I was like, I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, and then I got a call in order and this woman was like, I'm gonna be in Dalton at 3:45. And I was like, I'm gonna be in my bed at 3:45. So if you're not here by 3 o'clock, goodbye. So I was just having like the worst day. I was just like, this is not fun. I want to go home. I was tired. My feet hurt. I was like, these bitches are annoying and rude. Get me out of Java. And then I looked down at my phone and I get a text and it says Ryan is typing, and I was like, oh my god. And then like 2 minutes later, it was like Ryan sent you a message, and I was like, so I open it right, and it was like, oh my god, do you want to be on my podcast again? And I was like, all is good again. I feel great. And then I went through the rest of my day feeling jubilant, and it was amazing. So thank you for that.
Yes, thank you for joining me.
Sorry if I like talk too fast. I don't know. I'm like a little too much. But yeah, so I would like to reach out and say thank you to all 4% of you non-specified people. Thank you for watching. You mean the world to me and Ryan and I, whatever. So thank you. Yes, thank you for having me back. I really had a great time. It's like being on a podcast. Yeah, like it's a great way to pass the time.
It
Like an hour and a
is.
half has gone by, and I feel like I just sat down. So yeah, thank you so much, Ryan, for having me back. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, sometime we can do this again.
Yes, thank you for joining me. And thank you everyone for listening. This has been the Kinda Queer Podcast, hosted by a couple of kinda queer folks. And yeah, see you in the next one.
Bye, guys. I don't know why I had so much trouble with quality over content, content over quality. Yeah, I don't know why that. Yeah, but no, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, my brain is shutting down. Wow, my brain. What was I going to say? I don't remember. Oh, yeah.